you running for something again?
No. No, I'm just trying to help my party and the philosophy I think is important for the state and the country.
Governor, no mention of Mitt Romney.
I did mention Mitt Romney, that I'm supporting him, and I do think he is the candidate with the best chance of beating Barack Obama, and I have endorsed him and am supporting him.
Governor,
and I did mention him.
I'm sorry, but in Monroe County, people are interested in whether or not Maggie Brooks might run for Congress.
I sure hope so. I think she's been an excellent county executive, and I think there's going to be a lot of very close House races next year, and I think her voice, as someone who has actually run a government and as someone who has not been linked to the Washington power brokers for the last 20 years, would be a breath of fresh air in Washington. So I hope she does.
Is Louise Slaughter vulnerable, and could Brooks do a better job?
I think Maggie would be a great addition to Congress, and I think Louise has been there a long time. I think the American people and the people in Monroe County and New York State understand that Washington has failed the American people, and it's time to continue to send new blood, fresh blood to Washington.
Governor, on the Senate nomination,
the best candidate for the party against Jill Grant?
One of the things I talked about up there is, I mentioned I'm for Romney, but I also mentioned that we're going to have some battles for the Senate and some battles. We do have battles for the nomination for president, but the most important thing is at the end for us to come together. So I haven't picked a Senate candidate. I'm just hopeful we can get a strong one and unite to send a Republican senator to Washington.
Do you think any of them can beat Jill Grant?
Sure, definitely. This is a year where the people of New York understand that Washington has failed us. And they understand that we need people who are going to bring a new approach and not just continue the Washington insider special interest nonsense that has really hurt our country.
Do you think a primary can be a good thing for the party?
Yes, it can. I had a primary when I ran for governor, and I would have preferred not to have it, but I do think in retrospect that it helped me out. People didn't know who I was. It gave me a chance to have experience out there stressing the views and the points that I thought were important to the state. And I'll never forget, first time I spoke in Troy, and there were a couple of hundred people, I had no idea what to say or what to do. And so being out there on the trail, going through it, I think helps you. So long as you stay focused, stay positive, continue to connect to people, not just in a partisan way, but in a way that appeals across party lines. So the answer is yes, it could be.
But Governor, when there's a candidate that has more than $8 million in the bank, Kirsten Gillibrand, do you really need a bloodbath of a nominating process?
How are you? I think a bloodbath is not a good thing. But I think it's appropriate for candidates to get out there and express their views and let the people in the process understand why they believe they're the right candidate. And, I understand that incumbents with the backing of special interests can raise enormous amounts of money. I was outspent when I ran against an incumbent for governor the first time significantly. But the people of New York are smart and discerning. They understand Washington is broken, and they understand that the people who have been there a long time aren't the ones to fix it.
Governor, why is it
How you
doing?
doing?
So long
Everything's
as Republicans won statewide, and what needs to happen to change that?
Well, let's look forward, and I think we have great chances this time to win, and that's what I think we should focus on.
Do you think if Rick Santorum were the front runner, that would be harmful to New York State Republicans, or generally more?
I truly feel that this president has taken our country dramatically in the wrong direction. We've never had sustained trillion-dollar deficits. We've never had sustained unemployment over 8%. And I think that I would be perfectly willing to work very hard for whoever the Republican nominee is.
It wouldn't hurt Republicans in New York just to follow up.
Well, I think the people of New York understand that this president has led the nation in the wrong direction.
Democrats had kind of suggested that your endorsement of Romney was tenuous at best. Is that the case? Are you fully behind him?
Yeah, I support Mitt Romney. I do. I think he's the best candidate. I think he has the best chance of winning. And
will you campaign for him ahead of the New York primary?
If I'm asked to campaign, sure I will.
What do you think of the New York primary actually possibly meaning something this time around?
I think that's a good thing. It's nice that hopefully New York will get the attention that is appropriate.
What do you think of the strength of the New York Republican Party? I mean, obviously they ran Palladino a while back, and some of the candidates may not be, more in line with more.
I think
moderate.
you take a look at what happened in 2010. We won 6 House races. We won the state Senate back. We won seats in the state assembly. And then take a look at last year. We won some very important county executive races and local races. So I think Republicans in New York are always the underdog. That's been the case for a long time. It was the case when I ran. But if we pull together and have a message and a candidate who appeals to independents and to Democrats, and there's no reason our candidates can't do that, then certainly they can win. You always have an advantage running as a Democrat as opposed to a Republican, but it's not an insurmountable advantage. And we have to do things like reach out to Latinos and reach out to young people and make the case across party lines. And I worked hard at that, and I'm confident that our candidates this year can do it as well.
And Governor Cuomo has talked
Hey,
about.
how are you? Mario Williams, huh? Are you excited? I'm really happy about that.
The Bonnies and the NCAA, what more could you
Yeah, the Bonnies and the NCAA, and Syracuse squeaking back.
Governor Gibbon,
But really, I'm excited about Mario Williams.
come to a game?
I'm going to try.
Governor, given the success that Carl Palladino had in the Republican primary in 2010, do you think that there might be the same kind of success for a very conservative candidate, a Santorum or a Gingrich, I mean, in New York, even in New York State?
You know, this is New York, and to predict what might happen, I think, is to really go out on a limb. I just think it comes down to the effort, the work, the candidate's ability to have the appropriate right message for the voters, and we'll see what happens. I don't want to say, I don't want to speculate, because you'd throw something at me if I said
Why do you think that Governor Romney hasn't been able to lock it up? I mean, after Ohio, when you had a disappointing finish in the South, I mean, why? What is not connecting?
Well, I'd leave that to his campaign. I'm sure they're looking to see what they can do to improve. But on the other hand, he's won a number of the critical primaries like Michigan and Ohio. He is ahead, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Governor Cuomo has, talked about how he's reformed Albany a lot. He thinks he's done, a great job of making it work. And what do you think of the job he's done in terms of?
I think he's made some very positive steps. I think. Balancing the budget. I'm disappointed that he gave in on the tax increase, but without bigger tax increases than I know the Assembly would have wanted. I think pension reform, I think these are positive things.
What about the restacking? You made a big effort to
Mark,
bring,
how are you? Hiding in the back.
With the restacking, you made a big effort to bring state jobs to communities, branching out.
Yeah.
Now he's bringing them all back into a centralized system.
I think out of respect for the office, every governor has their style, every governor has their priorities, and let's let the people judge how well they're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Governor.